Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD1100 C# Programming Fundamentals class, I've been doing a series of video presentations based on both the PowerPoint presentations for the book we're using for the class, and as you can see on the screen right here, that book is Murock's C# 2015, and I've been working through examples of a mythical payroll program that I'm creating both using a console type of format and a GUI or graphical user interface format. So far I've done PowerPoint lectures on the first 7 chapters, and I'm in the middle of Chapter 8, how to use arrays and collections. Actually, I'm about a third of the way or so through here. This will probably take at least 3 presentations. I'm on 16 of 68, so I'm a little less than a quarter of the way through. Now, as we go through here, and I'm not sure what's happening right there. Well, that's interesting anyway. There we go. All right, so the next thing that we talk about in here is a rectangular array. So in other words, it is an array of multiple dimensions. All right, so it's row by column. So this would have 3 rows and 2 columns. So it would look like this. All right. In fact, that's a 4 by 4 array. So that's 4 rows, row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, and it has 4 columns. Column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3. Now, quite often when I go and work with students and we start talking about arrays of multiple dimensions, they get very confused. And they're like, I can't fathom this. I can't picture something like this in my mind. And I say, yeah, you can. Because most everyone has seen Excel or some kind of a spreadsheet program. Now in Excel, if I'm right here, notice I'm in cell A1. All right. The only difference between this and a multi-dimension array is in Excel, my columns go A, B, C, D, etc., and my rows go 1, 2, 3, etc. And in an array, the columns and the rows go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So instead of being A1, this would be 0, 0. All right. So, long story short, I think people can understand this. All right. So here is a 3 by 2 array that we're initializing. Okay. Row 0, column 0. Row 0, column 0, row 0, column 1, row 1, column 0, row 1, column 1, row 2, column 0, row 2, column 1, etc. And when you create arrays like this, they can be arrays of any type of values. That's an integer array. There's a string array. And they're showing you different ways that you can create these. All right? Notice that when you create an array, whether it's single or multi-dimension, if you're going to fill it up, do not put the number before the equal sign. Let the system figure it out for you. All right? All right, there's a getLength method. And as it says, you can use that to get the number of rows or the number of columns in a rectangular array. Notice that if you're going to use rows, you specify 0 for the dimension argument, and if it's columns, you specify a 1. So that would show you how many rows you had, how many columns you have. All right? Now, is this used a lot? Sure it is. Now, in this example, it's kind of a silly example, but think about it. Suppose that you had one dimension. Let's say that you work with sales, and you've got Eastern sales, Western sales, Southern sales, and Northern sales. All right, and in each one of those you've got people who work. So, you would have Eastern 0 would be one employee, Eastern 1 would be another employee, etc. All right? So there are a lot of uses for this. So they've got things in here where they're running through it. I'm not going to run through these examples, other than to say that when you've got multiple dimensions, all right, you've got a for loop for each dimension. I guess I will show one quick example. Hopefully I can do it quick. I put all this stuff in there for you already. But I'm going to come through here. Let me hit enter quite a few times here. And I'm going to put in here int hours, int minutes, int seconds. All right. So I'm going to have here for int LCV1. We'll use X, Y, and Z. Int X equals 0, 0. X less than 24 plus X. If you haven't already figured out what I'm doing, you will shortly. For int Y equals 0, Y less than 60 plus Y. For int Z equals, just copy this, and that should be Z, of course, here and here. Now, if I come through here and I say right line, and I'm going to put in here, I don't want those. I want X. I guess I'd have to make these arrays. Equals new int, and it's going to have in there 24 elements, which would be elements 0 through 23. Equals new int 60 elements, meaning that they would be elements 0 to 59. Oh, what did I do there? All right. So X equals 0, X less than. How about we can change this now to hours dot length. This can be changed to minutes dot length, and this can be changed to seconds dot length, because it's the same thing as what I put in there. So this would say hours X followed by, let's put a colon in here, followed by minutes Y, followed by another colon, followed by seconds Z. Now, could I have made a mistake in here? Of course I could have. All right, there may be a mistake in here. But what I'm trying to show you, look at this. Lines 36 through 50, 36 to 49. So, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lines of code, where in these 14 lines of code, one blank line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 curly braces. So really, 3 lines here, 1 line here, 1 line here, 1 line here, and 1 line here. I've built a clock. And the idea, if you can understand this, you can understand how you work through multi-dimensional arrays. This should print out 0, 0, 0. That's what should print out here. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3. Then when it gets to 59 seconds, it should be 010, 011, 012. Then when it gets to 0159, it'll be 020, etc. Eventually, it'll get to 05959. Then it'll go 100. So that's basically how it'll go through and print out everything that you need in order to be able to create a clock. Kind of nice. All right. Not getting very far right now, but I just wanted to show that to you. You can also have a jagged edge array. With a jagged edge array, not every row has the same number of values in it. See here we've got, in this one there are 3 columns in the row. Here we got 4 columns in the row. Here we've got 2 columns in the row. There may be a very good reason for doing this. All right. Some common properties, we've talked about some of these already. We've talked about the length property. We've talked about the getLength method. And there's a getUpperBound too, gets the index of the last element in the array. There's other ones, copy. Copy some or all of the values in one array to another array. Binary search. And I want to very quickly show you a binary search. I'm going to just throw 7 numbers up here. They will be in order. 16, 38. Oops, what did I do here? Try it again. 16, 38, 54, 69, 73, 81, 100. So let's say these represent these test scores of 7 students. And I want to know, is there anybody that got, I don't know, a 50? Okay? Now you and I can look at it and say no. But what we do is we go halfway in. Since there's 7 elements, we cut it right here. And we say, is that 50? No. All right. Since that's not 50, is the number 50, if it exists, is it up here or down here? Well, it's up here. So now in one guess, we've eliminated those 4 numbers. So we cut it in half again. You say, okay, is it there? Is that 50? No. Is it higher or lower? It's higher. So that's the only number that could possibly be left that's 50. So we check it and we say, no, it's not there. So in 3 guesses, we were able to tell whether or not the number we were looking at existed or not exist. That's a binary search in a nutshell. All right. You can also sort into ascending order. And they've got some examples that run through this. I think it'll make more sense as we go through and start writing our own. Okay. All right. Here they're talking about null reference. So if you create an array and don't put anything in it, all right. This is kind of important. Notice the question mark. The question mark means it is legal to leave something as null, which means unknown. All right. I'm going to stop right here. I am at about 14 minutes, and I'm going to pick up on the last part of the lecture, hopefully, which is starting here on how arrays and collections are similar in just a couple minutes.